that essentially allows you to have Acumatica communicate with other warehouse management systems like Manhattan and Associates or HighJump, etc. So here, the virtual distributor would either warehouse products or use third-party companies to warehouse their products, or exclusively use third-party companies to warehouse their products. And what our integration does is it tricks Acumatica into thinking that the third-party warehouse is one of Acumatica's warehouses. So that means all the inventory management is managed, because as you send the fulfillment packet to the third-party warehouse, and then we get a fulfillment or a ship packet back, we then can decrement and manage inventory within Acumatica, managing that third-party warehouse in near real time in terms of inventory control and management. So Greg will show you that now.
Okay. So quickly, just a little background setup as to how things are being done. We are here. We have what we call plugins. We use the same kind of a plugin pattern that Acumatica is using for carriers. We're using that for third-party warehouses. So they all have kind of a homogeneous interface, all the plugins that speak to an adapter that we have in Acumatica. And so you can get any third-party warehouse, whether they're using web services, or they're using REST, or they're using EDI, or we even had one that was using XML RPC, whatever their communication protocol is, and all the data that they need, all that is contained in the plugins. So if we look at the plugins that we have a couple of here. I've created one just for demo person. It's called Shipco, and what it does is it gives you some parameters that it needs in order for you to communicate with it, and those are, again, like the plugins, those all change corresponding there. You'll see the endpoints that we have and everything. So these are obviously speaking to services, a microservice somewhere out in the cloud, and we're doing that. So next thing we do is we map all of the ship bios that we have in Acumatica to the carriers and services that the vendor is supplying. So in this case, this vendor has a lot of ways that they will allow you to serve or to ship. And so here what we do is we just map the ship by in Acumatica to the carrier, to the name that that carrier has. So if we say we want to ship it by TNT 48, we will tell that third-party warehouse that's actually there, TNT Express carrier and ship method. So when you actually see, when the product is installed and you go to a shipment, you will notice that there is a new area here, which is really your TPW fulfillment. So at this point I have an order, and normally in Acumatica I would be able just to do a confirmed shipment and send that to the warehouse. But in this case, because the warehouse that I'm shipping from has been identified as a third-party carrier, I need to send a fulfillment request to that carrier. So I send a fulfillment request to that carrier. It goes out and it communicates with that carrier and brings back some information. Now this is an intermediate step because I haven't got confirmation that it's shipped. At this point I only have confirmation that the carrier has successfully accepted my request for a fulfillment. So at some period in time, and this generally we run this in a process, it goes through and it checks again. I would now then go to my, if I pick one here that's at a little better state, Oops. I'm trouble typing here today. Okay, if I go out here, here's one here that we have, and you'll notice that the fulfillment request was sent. At one point in time, we went out and we said, oh, are you done yet? And it comes back and it says, no, I'm not confirmed yet at this point. And it's giving me a reference number. But at this point, the next step I have is to confirm it. When I confirm it, then I can actually go on and I can actually prepare my invoice and do the things that I need. So this just kind of hooks in there and makes sure that everything happens. There's also, if the third-party warehouse communicates or provides the RMA service, this will actually communicate RMA information back and forth with them as well. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what it does. It sort of sits out there. Now we have a process screen that does that. For one high-volume customer, we actually have created background processes that run this automatically every hour, because they, for certain vendors, they only want it once a day or twice a day. Some of them want it every hour. They'd like shipments, because we're up in the neighborhood of 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 shipments a day. So we're sending those to them every hour. We have an automated process that's actually communicating via RESTful API and doing some of this stuff via RESTful API, just to take a lot of workload off of the server directly. So, and we have used in the past, as I said, we've communicated with vendors who communicate via EDI protocol and REST or web services or whatever you need. So when it's completed, when we have an order that's actually completed, it'll actually bring back serial numbers as well if the customer is issuing, or if the, not the customer, if your service provider is issuing serial numbers for you, then, and they're recording them and it's in their API to get them for you, we'll actually bring that back. And when something's actually shipped and you're seeing it as the order, as you get an order fulfilled status, you'll notice that you actually get your tracking number and everything here that you may want to provide to your customer or something. So in a nutshell, that's it. Any questions?